Kia ora te whānau, Shellen here, comms team from the sisters who do comms for Ngāti Kuia. We're talking with our whanaunga Jess today. She's just got this awesome business she's going to tell us all about, Native by Jess. But I'll leave most of the introduction to Jess to kōrero about who she is, and then we'll get into an interview for you all. Kia ora.
Kia ora whānau. So I'm based here in Melbourne in Australia, and I whakapapa to the Kire whānau, or Kelly's in Motueka, which was Manaia Kire. So that's my links to Ngāti Kuia, but I'm also Rangitane, Ngāti Apa, and Ngaitahu and Ngāti Pro on my nana's side. So yeah, me and my whānau are over here in Australia. We started a business a while ago, actually, just around creative cultural arts. But then COVID hit, and yeah, things kind of changed a lot, and we went into the mask making business. But I'll hand it back over to you. Yeah.
Kia ora. So you've got lots of whakapapa te tau ihu, and we're very lucky to have you in Ngāti Kuia. And yes, Native by G. Tell us a bit about this business.
Well, come March, my husband was affected by COVID, so his hours decreased, and I followed a lot of what was happening on social media and overseas in different countries, and noticed that mandatory masks started popping up on a lot of the comments. And so I started tinkering around and making a couple of masks, and friends of mine actually jumped on board and all wanted some. And so I've literally made thousands. And it got really busy here in Melbourne. A lot of businesses, I suppose this is one of the business masks, would order in hundreds. And yeah, it was just me. It was just me and my whānau doing it, kids helping, hubby helping, and getting them all out there. And then we went mandatory, and it just went insane here. It just fully went crazy. So trying to get them back to New Zealand became a little bit hard because of the postal system, and that's why I stepped into calling on whānau for help to start producing them so that we could eliminate those delays and with the postal system. And also one of my main things was to help wāhine that had been affected exactly like me, and to supplement their income.
Awesome. So you started it in Melbourne, and then through issues that you were facing around postal, then you set up some of the units or business units over here in New Zealand and with whānau. Is that what you're pretty much the solution to the problem that you're faced with?
Yes, because I started getting really large orders in New Zealand. Sometimes I couldn't guarantee when it would arrive there. So, and also the main thing for me, I was just so busy. I had earlier on wanted to open it up to allow other wāhine to be able to work from home. That was my main initiative, and to also give them a pathway for after COVID. So I touched base probably in March, April with whānau over there, and then it kind of died down after the wave. But I always had it, I had all the systems in place, I had all the documents in place, and the business I set up in New Zealand and everything like that. So once we went mandatory here in New Zealand, got their first case, I could just run with it and start setting up whānau there to be able to make masks. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds really cool and kind of complicated, but it sounds like you got your like just like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, clicking. Got it sorted. That is really exciting. So, so you're saying you're talking a bit about your COVID-19 experience. So whilst I kind of can hear through some of the postal issues, and also through you're going to mandatory mask wearing, you kind of were a bit ahead of the curve. Is there anything else that you're kind of experiencing through COVID that kind of, I guess, motivated you even more to make this reality?
Yeah, definitely. The one thing I found with my mask that was the point of difference was the cultural aspect. So being able to make something custom made, so being able to do different cultures, Māori, Pacific Island, and also being able to have somebody come with you with a design and say, hey, I want this on it, was definitely where we excelled in that area. A couple of obstacles that came about, which I was able to be ahead of for New Zealand, was things like black fabric all sold out, elastic sold out, and knowing that as soon as New Zealand got a case, that I could say to the ladies, hey, please, now it's time, can you go grab that fabric, can you go get all that, and then I could jump on board and ship over a lot of things also from Australia, fast post. So yeah, there was definitely a lot of learning around all of that, and the ladies also starting to learn. But I think we've gelled really well as a team. I've been so impressed with the ladies. And then, like, some of our first orders were like 500 masks from Ngāi. So we really had to jump on board, and everyone wanted it yesterday. So yeah, they've done so well.
That's really exciting. Well, the reason isn't exciting, but it has changed our world. But it's great that we're able to support each other, our whānau, in more ways than one, I guess, with this mahi you're doing.
Mm.
So what's been some of the highs, like some of the positives, some of the wins with your mahi?
Heaps and heaps of highs. Like, we've gotten such a huge following now, I suppose, and people knowing about all the other stuff that I've got to do. So pre-COVID, I was always doing artwork, some particular art pieces and clocks and different home decor pieces. And so once it started to take off, I had to actually put those that all sold out, because everyone didn't just want the mask. They suddenly wanted me to make clocks and drawings and to come in and do custom made walls. And so that there was really great for the business. They were all there for after, or when I had a quiet moment, I could do those. That was a huge high. I mean, and having iwi support, that's a really huge high, and people knowing what you're doing. But I suppose for me, it's the wāhine that we're doing nothing. That's my high. That's to see them bringing in money, to be paying them out their payments, to, wāhine had been affected by COVID. They say, for one of our women, she used to do floristry, and so the wedding industry had died down. A lot of her work had died down, and she also got made redundant from her job. So this gave her the ability to be able to create masks. So with me being able to teach her how to do the custom made print, she can now use the techniques that I've taught her towards other future projects that she wants to do for herself. So that's definitely the high.
Wow, that's cool. You're talking about support from iwi. What did that look like?
So when I first started with COVID earlier on, I approached Ngāti Kuia about what was happening here, and they, in the end, we sorted out a grant for 2 wāhine. So they both got vinyl cutting machines and supplies to be able to do the prints that are on the mask. So do these and press them onto the mask. There's some other ones as well, a package. I don't know if you can see it. So they were able to now do those. And I was able to teach them how to use the system and the programs, which, it was just amazing, because they're now set up there. We can get a business logo, and they've done business logos where, I can send it through to them. They can cut it, press it, put it on the mask and ship it out. But now these wāhine, not only with that package, can go off and make tote bags, t-shirts, bottles, everything like that after. So it's really great that they've got this. This is their package, and they can use it for their future business.
Oh, that's so cool. And then Ngāti Kuia as well, I understand.
Yeah, they were Ngāti Kuia. So 2 wāhine received it. There was an opportunity to actually have more, which was really great if we did expand, but we just started with a small project of having 2 wāhine. And I think it's so great that iwi have stepped in, done a small grant, and now these women have an ability to supplement their income.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's so good to hear. Definitely heaps of wins. Going on the kind of the other end of the spectrum, I guess, what has been some of the challenges that you've faced over this time?
Definitely lack of sleep. So I was up till probably 1, 3 in the morning. and COVID as well, being a mum, being stuck at home, having to homeschool my teachers. My first year, she was my first year in school. So juggling family life, that was definitely some of the struggles. And supplies, now I know where to get supplies and certain things from, but when you're juggling so much and you're trying to do everything, and yeah, those were definitely the struggles.
Yeah, but you found solutions. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely got solutions. I'm so blessed to have such a supportive family. My husband has been absolutely amazing with helping out. He was up weeding, he was up packaging, he was up cutting. Same with all my kids. Even my 5-year-old should put the stickers on. Luckily, they're straight. So yeah, it was lots of highs as a whānau. We have gelled, and we've been, we've actually been in lockdown since probably March. We've been out for about a week and a half, but really restricted. And I think, the high as a whānau has been amazing. So we're so much closer. Yeah.
That's really cool. Oh, it's such a beautiful story. Very interesting as well. Thank you for sharing. So I've got two more questions, and I guess the first one will be, how do whānau find your products? I know you've got a website or something, and we can put that in the link if you like, when we post the video. Is that going to be the easiest way to put the masks and stuff?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, through the website will be way easier. We've got two set up. So we've got one in Australia, which is, they're both exactly the same, but it's under nativebygess.com.au is for Australia, and for New Zealand, it's nativebygess.co.nz. So we kept the two separate so that they could pay in Australia or New Zealand dollars.
Oh, awesome. Oh, thank you for everything. Lovely.
Yeah.
And lastly then, what are some inspirational words you'd like to leave whānau with to inspire them to get out there, to believe in themselves, or anything that's of that nature of inspiration?
Well, I watched a thing the other day, and it stuck with me, and it was something I'd actually heard Stan Walker say, not, it was just come up, and it was the end of his story, and it was, you only live this life once, so live it. Like, pretty much those weren't his exact words, but you need to take some risks. And so for me is take some risks. If you believe in what you're doing, you're only gonna regret not doing it. But yeah.
Kia ora. So take some risks, whānau. You've only got one life. Get out there. Kia ora, Jess. Thanks so much for your time today. It's great to meet another whanaunga that is passionate about our whānau, about iwi, about empowerment and all of that. It's really cool. So we hope to kind of follow up on your story, if that's okay, and see how it's going, and maybe meet some of your New Zealand based wāhine that are working for you, if that's all good. So watch this space, whānau. Kia ora.